Hello, everybody. Welcome to PestPack University. We are going to be getting started with today's session called Building a Website Doesn't Have to Be Scary. Thank you for your time. Thank you for attending today. Let's go ahead and jump right into what we're going to be covering today. So today we're going to be talking about the Website Builder, which is a cool self-service tool and platform that WorkWave has available for our users. We're going to be talking about the actual tool itself, what it is, how it works, and most importantly, the types of businesses that this is designed for. There's many key benefits, both immediate and long-term to your business that you're going to be able to get out of Website Builder, and we're going to discuss those in details. And probably the most kind of hands-on deep dive that we're going to go into is actually show you how you can, from the moment of sign up, get your website up and running in just a matter of minutes with just a few basic details. From there, after your site is live, we're going to be talking about the basic and kind of somewhat more advanced marketing strategy and best practices that you can use to turn your website into a lead generation machine and help getting you out there and getting discovered by the types of customers that are going to be with you long term. And just to wrap it up, we're going to talk about some of the available help, some of the resources that you're going to be able to turn to for Website Builder and other WorkWave services that you can rely on so that you'll be in good hands going forward. My name is Brian Nicoletti. I am a senior onboarding specialist with WorkWave, been with the company for about 8 years, and currently working with our WorkWave service and some of our marketing products. And with us today is Jamie DeSantis. Go ahead, introduce yourself, Jamie. We're excited to hear what you've got to cover today.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jamie DeSantis. I've been with WorkWave for almost 4 years, and I'm an onboarding specialist working specifically with the marketing modules as well as Forms Manager and our website builder.
Excellent. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about Website Builder. Jamie, go ahead, take it away.
Yeah, absolutely. So first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about what Website Builder is. And Website Builder is a product that allows our users to launch a professional website in a short amount of time without requiring any technical expertise. So the nice thing for this is it's meant to, once you get the login criteria to jump in, you can really just jump in and start putting your information in and creating your website right from the start. Website Builder is built for new businesses and startups. So just getting started, you don't have your website just yet, and you're looking to get some online presence. Specialized divisions, so extensions of franchises of existing businesses, companies that don't currently have a website, and businesses with a lack of marketing personnel. So it's nice because, like we said, it's very easy to just get started, get it up and running within minutes, and doesn't really require anybody with like high technical expertise to get you started. So some of the key benefits of using the website builder are that we have industry-specific templates available to users to get started with, royalty-free professional imagery and graphics to use. So if you don't have pictures on your computer that will represent your business, you can absolutely use the search filters that we have to get imagery to use. Quick and easy configuration with no HTML experience required. Doesn't mean that if you doesn't mean that if you do know HTML, you can't use it, but it's not required to be able to get your website up and running. Notifications and integrations with other providers such as social media sites and Google Maps, and detailed plug and play setup where you just fill in your business's details and launch your website.
Thanks, Jamie. And Website Builder is a very robust tool. There's a lot of great examples that you're going to be seeing in just a few minutes here. And however you decide to kind of take the step-by-step process, the overall flow of how the website begins and how it goes live is very similar. You're going to start by choosing the industry that your business is in. There's a few pre-built ones in there. There's pest control, lawn and landscape, some various others as well. And the cool thing about the industry-specific templates is that within them are all the typical services that are often provided, all of the most common ones that a prospect or someone doing an internet search is going to be prone to looking up. So you won't have to build a list. You won't have to kind of detail and line item out every single thing you offer. You've got them all available with graphics available, with the layout and formatting of the page already pre-built that you could preview, that you could review before you commit to it. And once that template is live, it is very easily adjustable, both in terms of content, which is something we're going to be getting into, and also functionality. So you're going to see that you're going to be able to do things like add links to some of your external services, like Jamie was saying before. Customize your lead capture form so that people could fill out their information and you could reach out to them and hopefully close a sale. And the cool thing about these websites with Website Builder is that they are optimized so that no matter what device a user's looking at it on, it could be an iPad, it could be a phone, it could be their main computer screen. It's going to have consistent imagery, it's going to have consistent design and functionality across many different platforms, and you do not need to pay any extra for upgrades or do any sort of back-end setting tweaking or anything like that. It just works right out of the box. Now, once you've done the selection as to what the website is going to be about, it's as simple as just entering in some company information. So your contact details, area you service, logo information, things like that. And then you will launch the site and go ahead and start tinkering with all of the content details and some of the underhood stuff that we're going to jump right into. So that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and take a closer look at it in the next slide here. We're going to actually go ahead and jump right into Website Builder right away and get started with building a site live.
Woohoo! All right, let's take a look. So the page that we're currently looking at right now is the login page that everybody gets when they first log in. So you're going to go to myworkwave.co, not com, .co, and you'll be prompted to log in with the username that was selected as the username to get started. So more than likely, your email address. I happen to already be logged in. So for my particular database, I already have 2 websites up and running, but we're going to show you what it looks like to get started from scratch. So to do this, and what you guys are going to do the first time that you log in, is we're going to select the blue button at the top right to create website. And this is going to bring us into our wizard. So the first thing that we want to do is select the industry that best describes our business. Are we a pest control company? Are we a cleaning service? Are we a delivery service? Do any of these match what we do? And how this is going to affect everything moving forward is like the default backgrounds and the default images that you're going to be able to select for your services if you opt to include services on your website, is it's going to use those icons based on the industry that you select. Now, that's not to say, let's say you are a pest control and a cleaning service, that maybe, oh no, I have to choose one or the other. The nice thing with Website Builder is when it comes to some features later on, such as adding our services, we can flip-flop back and forth between the different industries. So we can select icons from both. So from here, let's choose a delivery service. Let's say that our company is a delivery service. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight delivery service, save and continue. And this is going to move us over into the select template. So here, because I chose delivery service, it's giving me options for backgrounds that tie a little bit more into delivery service. If I go back and say maybe I'm a distribution service instead, you'll see that the icons have changed a little bit for my templates. So here, first things first, I'm going to choose which template I want to take a look at. And I can always select the demo just to take a look at it and get a general idea for the layout. So I can pick which one I want. However, whatever you choose now doesn't mean that it's absolute. There is going to be a place later on that you can come back and edit this and change back and forth between the two. So for today's purposes, I'm going to go ahead and select template 1. Next, I do have to have a business logo, and it does give you a size suggestion. So if you find that you're trying to upload something and you're getting an error message, you might just want to go ahead and open up a program that you can readjust the size. I already have an image ready to go, so I'm going to click Upload Image. I'm going to head over to my desktop where I saved my image, and I'm going to choose it. So here I have my logo. It's a little hedgehog cleaning. So once I have that set and ready to go, we're going to go ahead and save and continue. Next, this takes us to the configurations page. Now don't worry, nothing here again is set in stone. There is going to be a place that we can come back and edit this information as needed. Now the first thing that we're greeted with is we do have to give our website a name. So I could say that this is the DeSantis distribution site, and it's going to have the WorkWave domain at the end. If, however, you have signed up for your own domain, perhaps through GoDaddy, don't worry. You just have to put something here for now, but there is going to be a page later on where you're going to be able to add your own domain to it instead. So you just have to plug something in there just to get started. After that, I'll start filling in my business information. So let's see, company email. Sometimes it helps when I can type it correctly. And so on and so forth. And I'll continue putting in the information as to what makes sense. Once I have everything set up and ready to go, and it looks good, then I'm going to go ahead and click to launch site. And then that's going to bring us right back to the page that we were at before, where then you can go and edit the information. I'm not going to finish filling this out because I do have other websites up and running that I'm going to show you. But I wanted you to get a feel for what the wizard looks like. So let's take a look at our websites. So here I have a website that's already up and running. So this was, if I'd started off on the websites page, I just selected edit for the page that I wanted to come into. So by default, anytime you log into the myworkwave.co, you always start off on the websites tab. You also have your leads tab, your services tab, testimonials, and reports. We'll talk about those in just a moment. So when I go to edit my website, I can then go through and start editing some of the information. So the first thing we're greeted with is our business details, and we can toggle whether or not the site is live or not. So if there's ever a point where you need to turn it off, you just toggle it off and it'll shut the website down or at least not be available online. All your saved information will remain intact. We can come down, we have our business information. This is the information that you filled out previously when you first got started. So all of this is here, and I can absolutely come in and update it if I needed to. So here in my template, I can look to see where my information is. I can come down, and I have my information down here. Same thing for my hours of operations. I have a call or email to schedule. I could change it. Maybe we're open, 24/7, 365. And then I can also hit save and continue. Save and continue is your friend. You want to make sure that you're hitting that anytime that you make a change. So now that I've made the change, here's the website live. I'm going to go ahead and refresh it. And you can see here that my hours of operation changed because I changed it to the 24/7, 365. Now, as a best practice recommendation from me, I always recommend have your website open in a separate tab. That way you can see the changes that you make live and determine whether or not you like the changes that you've made. All right, so first tab, business details, all about you and your business. So where they can reach you at, where you're located, and your hours of operation. You also have the ability down here that you can configure your reviews. So if you want to use testimonials, something that you input that people have left reviews for on other pages, or you can also sync up to your Google reviews. There's a widget, or if you don't want any of that to show, you don't have to. Here's my testimonials. They show up right here, and those are edited in the testimonial section. All right, moving on. We come
Before
into
you jump forward, Jamie,
Yeah.
just one thing that's I think is important to bring up, especially when you're talking about the business contact details. This will be publicly available information. So for users, for companies that are just getting started, if you are using your home address, if you are using your personal phone number, be aware that that will be shared publicly for people that discover the website. It may be worth looking into setting up a secondary business phone. Something that is not, tied to your personal information. Same thing with your address. There are business address services, things like PO boxes that you can configure here in Website Builder, just to keep, your personal side of off the business page.
Yep.
and
And you
avoid
can see
crossing
here,
between.
I did not use an actual address on my website. All right, let's keep moseying. So our next tab is our website content. So the website content is going to be the basic details, the little pieces of information that you're going to start putting in to start making your page more robust. So the first thing we're greeted with here is our page headline. So this could be anything just detailing your company, your business, anything that you want to say. If you're advertising anything, it can be whatever you want it to be. And then you're going to continue on and fill in anything that has the red asterisk because that is required in order to be able to save and move forward. Now you'll find between the different templates, some pieces of information show versus others. So the template that I'm currently in doesn't actually have a subheadline. So you want to be on the lookout for that as you're updating the page to see what carries over versus what doesn't carry over. We also have the information that you can fill in for the contact form. So if you wanted to say, reach out to us for a free quote, say hello, contact us. This is going to be the introduction for the form that they can fill in with their name and email address, phone number, and address. And that'll show up in the leads section when they fill it in. You also have your service description. So this will be the introduction to the services that you're going to provide. You also have a section to detail about your business, so a short or a long description, so a little bit about yourselves, how long you guys have maybe been in business, or what you guys focus on, your mission statement and history. You also have a section for business statistics, so if you want to talk about some statistics that apply to your company. Here I have how many happy customers I have, my years active, my number of employees, counties served, but they can be really anything as long as you have a label and then you have a statistic that matches it. Last but not least on this page is your ability to have footer information. So this is going to be something that shows up at the very bottom. A little hard to see because I have the reCAPTCHA here in the way, but you have the footers that people can click on and you can have it say anything that you want. So if you want to have your terms and conditions or privacy policies, anything really, and your customers will be able to click on it and view that pop-up.
And things about privacy policies, just to it's a common question we get. It's best to kind of confirm with your state how regulated that may be. I know depending on where you are, there's some standard kind of copy and paste boilerplate privacy policies that you can set up and link to, just so that they are disclosed out there.
Excellent. All right, let's keep going. So our next tab is visual. So the first thing that we're greeted with is we can go back and forth between selecting which template we want. So maybe I want to see what template 1 looks like. So I'm going to make that change. I'm going to save and continue. And once it decides it wants to save, I'm going to go ahead and refresh my page. So here, if you wanted to change the template, you can absolutely go back and forth and update and take a peek to see how the changes come into effect when you're looking at the page. This is also where you're going to be able to upload your logos and have various other images show up. So in this case, my raccoon is actually my logo. This is for my pest control and lawn care company. I also have an alternate logo. This is only available for one of the templates, not both. I also have a little favicon, so that is when, and if you can see it, little tiny guy up here, if somebody were to bookmark your page, that they'll have that little image and see it in their bookmarks. I'm also able to come down and upload imagery. So this could be pictures of, my company, my coworkers, my business, or us, doing our job. Or in my case, I uploaded a bunch of pictures of hedgehogs because, well, I love hedgehogs. Now, the cool thing here is, as we'd mentioned before, this is where you can go that, hey, I don't have any images of my industry, but you can come here and choose images from the Pixabay. So let's say I want to look up lawn care. And I can come in, search for lawn care, and it'll provide me images that I could absolutely upload and save. I'm going to go with the cute pupper eating the grass. That looks pretty cute. And then don't forget, as always, save and continue, so that way you can see the updates on your page when it gets saved. And there he is. Look at how cute. At the very bottom of this page, you can also choose your color scheme. So in this case, I chose a nice purple. But if, let's say, my company colors are a little bit more on the pink side, or you know what, I want to go a little bit more green because it is a lawn care company, I absolutely can. I can save and continue, refresh, and note the changes that are made right there and then.
And don't forget too, you can use your own graphics if you have pictures of your own trucks, of your your own work, or some you and your family, or you and some customers. Definitely feel free to use those and change them up pretty regularly. As you do different seasonal services, you may want to put something that is more common as the main logo here, as the main picture here, just to call attention to it. Same thing as you get into some of the slower seasons, some of the additional services you offer, just to make this a little bit more active. And another cool thing, Jamie, if you could scroll back down to where the color pickers were, you're noticing here next to the color like picker, there's this kind of string of numbers and letters right here. If you work with a graphic designer, or if you have had someone who has designed logos or pictures or graphics for your company before, this is a color code that is pretty standard across areas of the internet. So they can provide you with the actual specific number code to match exactly your existing logo. If you've been in business for a very long time and want the same shade of purple to appear on your website that appears on your trucks or appears on your business cards, you can get it to the exact color just by knowing the code here.
Excellent. All right, guys, we're almost done. We've almost set up this website completely. All right, let's move on to our next tab, our marketing tab.
All right, so now back on the website content tab, that was where you were putting information that displays for your potential audience to see. So things like your description about your business, your long description, things like that. You're writing for people. You're kind of positioning your language to convince people to go with you, talk about the services you provide, talk about why you're the best in your industry, things like that. And there's a lot of great ways that you can use that language to help convince people that you're a good business to do business with. If you go back over to the marketing tab, here, you're going to be sort of writing similar content, except in this case, I want you to think that instead of writing for people, you're writing for the search engines. You're writing for Google, so that when it goes to discover websites, when it goes to rank you and associate your page with certain keywords, those are the phrases, those are the search terms that you're going to get matched with and more likely to be found on. So things like meta title, meta description, they're areas where you could put in sort of, what it is, what you do, where you service, except, you don't have to write so much like you're writing a brochure. You can write lawn care services in central New Jersey. You can put in the title professional pest control services, specializing in termite mediation, something along those lines, something very targeted, something very specific with the search terms that you think you or your customers will be looking to find you. There are a lot of great resources available and some cool tools that are out there for free on the internet that you can use to kind of test and see which terms, which phrases get the most traffic for what you're associated with. And that is what you can use to plug into here to help make the website more discoverable for both title and description standpoint. Coming on down a little bit too, there are these inputs here, header script code, slightly up, Jamie, if you don't mind. Header script code, form submission script code that are going to let you If you have some third-party tools that will let you analyze your website traffic, Google Analytics is one of the main ones that are available. You can actually take the access information that Google Analytics gives you and paste it here into your website so that you could use that tool to go ahead further and see just how people did discover you, which search terms they used, which devices they are using, just to give a little bit more insight in your audience. Next to there, you've got this form submission script code. Now this is a little advanced, but as your business grows, if you find yourself working with some sort of marketing agency or some sort of marketing person, you can enhance the site so that when somebody fills out one of your form submissions, you can put in some coding in here that directs them where they could go next. Push them to your Facebook page, push them to some sort of offer, something along those lines to really make the most of that form submission. Coming on down a little bit further, we've got these top header links right here, and this is cool too because this is another area where you can make the changes and see them live. What you're putting here in link 1, link 2, that'll actually show at the very top of the website persistently. As you scroll down, it remains active right there, and you'll put the language, you'll put the link that it wants people to launch it to. And for example, in this one, when that link is clicked, it opens up a review page where people can see what our customers are saying about us. Additionally, we've got the ability to put in some social media links. So if your business is on Facebook or Yelp or Twitter or any of these services right here, you could find your public facing URL, paste it into the areas right here, and the logos, the icons will show up here on the website for people to click and connect with you. There is a nice SEO benefit of actually being on multiple services and having them all linked together. Especially if you have consistent branding, consistent colors, and language between them. So definitely use those to your advantage. Those are all free services as well and can help serve to get you more discovered by your target audience.
Excellent. All right, let's keep going. Last tab, configuration. So the configuration page is where we're going to start working back to that domain name. So remember, we said at the very beginning, don't worry if you purchased your own domain from another site, you just had to input something just to get started. Now, for me, I don't happen to have a domain name, so I'm going to keep the one that I created, the DeSantisPestandLawn.myworkwave.com. But if you did have a custom domain name, this is where you would input it, and then your customers would go to that instead. So rather than .myworkwave.com, it could be just DeSantisPestandLawn.com. You also have your redirect. So if you wanted that, if your customers were to click on your link or they were to type it in manually, it would automatically put in the www in front. Or as I have in mine, just to force the HTTPS. You can toggle those on and off.
And for anyone kind of wondering kind of the technical reasoning for any of this here, when we talk about custom domain, we're talking about your own .com address. That is something that you could buy very inexpensively from a domain name provider, something like GoDaddy, something like HostNet, or something along those lines. Once it is purchased, you're basically able to plug that .com into here, and the website from Website Builder shows up. And these sliders here about redirects, force HTTPS, it's mostly about like browser usage. And the provider that you buy your .com or your domain from is going to have guidance as to which one of these you should use, if either, because they typically have this built in.
Excellent point. All right.
So try not to overthink it and try not to let it kind of block you from getting started and getting your website live.
All right. Last but not least, we have the lead form integration. So this is looking at when your customers fill in that contact form. So if you want to be emailed and get notified anytime a new lead comes in, you can select that to be on. It's going to go to the email address. That's the username for the login for Website Builder. You can also enable the Google reCAPTCHA. Google reCAPTCHA. That's very fun to say. Google reCAPTCHA. if you wanted that to occur. Now for this, you would need to have something signed up with Google to be able to use that. Right, Brian?
Yes, that would be that would require a Google account.
Mhm. And then you can also toggle on, if you're using Google Ads, if you want to keep track of the conversion tracking. But you'd have to have the Google Ads program and then input the information that you would get from there. And as always, as you continue on, don't forget to save and continue. All right, so now that we've completed the bulk of setting up our website builder, let's take a look at some of the other tabs that we can work with. So we mentioned briefly, you have your leads tab. So anytime somebody fills in the contact form, that information will show up in here. But the next probably important one is going to be the services. And this is where you're going to be able to come in and create the services that are going to show up on your account. So here I happen to have my different services that my customers can click through and be able to pick and choose which ones that they want to work with. So to add those, I'm going to come in, I'm going to create service, I'm going to give it a name. I can choose which category. So is this a pest control, a cleaning service, a delivery service, lawn care? I'm going to choose pest control. And then I can come in and I can choose which icon that I want. Now the icon might not be showing up because my screen's a little tinier. There we go. Expand that out a little bit. You can pick and choose which icon that you want. And keep in mind the different industries have different icons. So if you find one that fits, just go ahead and choose that one. So maybe I just want to do the thumbs up. Now, because my particular dashboard has multiple websites, I'm going to choose which website that this service is going to show up on. And I can pick and choose whether or not it's an active service or a deactivated service. And I can also pick and choose in what order should they be in. So right now, if I come back to my website, I've bed bug control, wildlife, termite, raccoon, Centricon. So I could say that this one I want to show towards the end. And I can also put in a brief description of what the service is. So now that I've added it, I should be able to refresh it. Here's my new service, and there's the description that I've added. Underneath our services, we have our testimonials. So if you did opt in to add testimonials, this is where you would go to add them. And the testimonials can be just nice things that your customers have said about you that you want to include on the website. So here again is my testimonial section, and I have 2 testimonials that my customers can click through. Keep in mind, you don't have to use the testimonials. If you guys do want to use the Google widget, you can do that instead. Last but not least is the reports, and that's going to show you how many customers have come to visit your page, as well as how many lead forms have been filled out on particular days.
So as you've seen, the website builder tool is a very kind of open-ended platform that'll let you really quickly get a website up, available for you to tinker and enter in the basics about your company. And then going forward, really make it your own. Really get in there and put a lot of thought into how you're going to present your company and use it to generate more business. And what we've got here on this slide is something that you can print out, something you can tape with you, and kind of use as your basic marketing strategy to get the most out of your website with the website builder tool. So the first kind of cosmetic stuff that we recommend is take a look at the design, the layout, change some of the images, change the color scheme and those service icons like Jamie was showing us before, and do that regularly. Test different ones, see which ones are more prominent. Start with your common services. Some of your secondary ones you may want to give a little bit more attention to, where if there's things that come up that you're newly qualified to do or that you're interested in rolling out, build those into the website and make them part of it on an ongoing basis. Separately from the visual stuff, same concept with the website content itself. There's a lot of areas where you can customize the calls to action, what you want people to do, the headlines, the mission statement, the description of the business, and the statistics, those cool little number counters that you could really call to attention a lot of stuff. Mix those up from time to time. Don't just set it up once and leave it there. The more tweaking you do, you may see that some of those changes lead to more impact on your business for better, to generate more interest or get you ranked for another search term. Next thing that we recommend you do is add some links to your additional web presence. Even if you don't have one, begin building it out. Set up your social media accounts and talk about your business there and provide updates pretty regularly. Set up a customer portal, which is something you could do with PestPac, for people to sign in, create an account, pay their bill, request service, things along those lines, and tie that into your website so it just becomes more functional. And then use Google to its advantage too. Google has a lot of free business services to help get you on Google Maps, to help determine the traffic that's going to be coming to you, to advertise, and for some social keywords, things like that too. So all of that can tie back to your main website. And once you have that live, you've got it there. And it's going to roll right into the next step, which is get found by search engines naturally. With the meta title, the meta description, that is where you're writing for the search engines so that you can become ranked, you can become associated with keywords. A custom domain for your site is not a requirement to be found by the search engines, but it definitely helps make you stand out compared to the competition. It gives the impression of a more professional kind of establishment. So it's something we recommend. It is very inexpensive. It's just dollars for the website and for the hosting for the year. So definitely use that to your advantage. And then put the keywords into the website content too. You'll want to be sure to make sure that those are highlighted and they're used accurately so that people know specifically what it is you do and that you're more likely to be found when it comes to a search for pest control in an area, or lawn service in an area, or something along those lines too. And then finally, something that you can do long-term with your website is, we're going to call it, make it a two-way street. Your website should be more than just a brochure about your business. You can automate it with the Google Reviews widget so that when people leave feedback about your company, it just automatically shows up on the website. You can make it so that the website traffic is being analyzed and you're determining how long people are staying on the site, if they're coming and immediately leaving, and then using that to your advantage to make the website content more sticky, more functional, more action oriented. And then with the lead generation tool that people can fill out, that is another thing where you can change the language about it to make it more appealing to people. So instead of just saying contact us for information, you could put enter your info for a free quote, or for your first complimentary service, something along those lines, if that is how you structure your business. It's very cool. It's very kind of tinker and play around with it until you find what works, and then enhance and scale from there.
All right. So last but certainly not least, hey, you have a website, it's up and running, you've put in all of the information. So all that's left now is to use the module and start getting started with it. If you have any further questions, we do offer help and resources. So if you're a PestPac user, you can get to the community site by hitting those 3 people in a circle. And there will be pages on there and different articles in regards to Website Builder. Or if you're a Workwave service customer, you can just go to your support documentation and go to the link to visit the Workwave knowledge base. If you have any follow-up questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to our customer support team. You could submit a ticket at workwave.com/support or call our 800 number and reach out to a representative.